Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and Mobile World Congress is happening right now in Barcelona, Spain. And last week I got invited to a preview event with Lenovo in New York City. So I hopped on a train to head out to the city. I haven't been there since October, so it was great to get back there again. And I found that the ultra-wideband 5G has been rolling out quite a bit. And while I was in the middle of Grand Central Terminal here, I was able to clock download speeds at 1.6 gigabits per second on my iPhone. Pretty wild. And the uploads weren't too bad in there either. So you could probably do a pretty decent live stream from the middle of Grand Central Terminal now. And I'm seeing that UW pop up more and more as I'm wandering around the city. But this video is not about that. It is about what Lenovo announced at Mobile World Congress. A lot of cool stuff, especially on the more affordable side. So let's take a look. Now this first one is a ThinkBook 13S Gen 4. This will be out later this spring or summer. It comes in around 2.75 pounds or 1.25 kilograms. It is 13 inches but with a 16:10 display. There's an option for a 400 nit Dolby Vision display if you want to get that. Additionally, it's got a 1080p webcam built in for your web conferencing. It's got a 12th generation i7 processor with DDR5 RAM, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and it starts at around $849, and then you can configure the price up from there. Now next up is the ThinkVision M14 portable display. This is a 14-inch 16:10 USB-C display, so you plug it in with one cable, which provides video and power to it. It runs at a resolution of 2240 by 1400 at 60 hertz. They're claiming 300 nits of brightness on this, which is a lot for a USB portable display. So I'm eager to get one in and actually see how it all works compared to some of the other ones we've reviewed over the years. A very thin case on this. It is 4.6 millimeters. It's got a built-in stand with it as well, and it's going to sell for $299 a little later this summer. And Lenovo is still making Android tablets. This is their M10 Plus 3rd generation. It is running Android 12. It has 4 gigs of RAM. It's got a 10-inch IPS display running at 2000 by 1200. It's going to be available for $189 in the summer. It has a cool reading mode that we were able to switch it into where it turns the screen black and white to make it easier on the eyes. Oddly, this has 2 different processor choices. One is the Snapdragon 680, the other the MediaTek G80. Lenovo tells me they should perform about the same, and I guess it's going to vary based on which market it's being sold in as far as which processor you'll get installed on it. All right, next up we've got a low-cost gaming laptop. This is the IdeaPad Gaming 15. It looks very similar to their Legion laptops but have much lower specifications. This one has a 15-inch 16:9 display that will go up to 165 hertz. But they also have a more expensive 16-inch version that has a 16:10 display that will also run it up to 165 hertz. Now on the 15-inch version, it starts at $929 with a Ryzen 6800H processor and a 3050 Ti GPU. There's an Intel version that starts at $989 on the 15-inch that can go up to a 3060 GPU. The 16-inch versions cost a little bit more. Both models will be available in April, and apparently there's also an option with Intel Arc graphics, so we'll have to see what they come up with and what they send to us for review a little bit later this year. Now the only Legion device they had there was their 600S gaming mouse. This looked interesting because it has built-in Qi charging, and it's going to sell for about $100 later this fall. Now Lenovo is also updating their entry-level consumer 2-in-1s, the IdeaPad Flex line. They had 14 and 16-inch devices on display running with both Intel and AMD processors. All of them now will have 16:10 displays at various resolutions. And they also updated the hinge, so when you're in laptop mode, the keyboard will angle itself up a little bit higher towards the user. There will also be a version of these laptops running with Chrome OS. The 14-inch Windows model will start at $619 with an Intel processor. The AMD one will start at $689, again for the 14-inch, and then the prices go up from there depending on the model. All of them should be available late spring, early summer. I know a lot of you are fans of the Chromebook Duet, which is a Chromebook tablet that came with its own detachable keyboard. There's a new one coming out. This is the Chromebook Duet 3. It's a larger device now, 11 inches in size, and it has a more powerful processor, a Snapdragon 7C Gen 2. That should be a pretty big performance boost over the original. It has a 4 gigabyte and 8 gigabyte RAM option, along with a 128 gigabyte SSD. This is going to sell, though, for $399 at its starting point, so a little bit more expensive, but more powerful. Now, they also have a new Duet on the way running Windows. This one's a little bit larger with a 12.4-inch 16 by 10 display running at 2560 by 1600 at 450 nits. This is running Windows 11 with an Intel processor, a 12th generation i7. We'll see how those new power-efficient chips will work in this form factor for battery life. This one has up to 16 gigs of RAM in some of its configurations, but it does not have Thunderbolt, just USB Type-C. Now, these will start with the keyboard at $749, and it will be available in July. So let's move on to ThinkPads. They've got a new generation of their T Series devices, a T14, 14S, and 16. These are Lenovo's most successful business laptops, and they're going to all now have a 16 by 10 display across the line. Some of them will have OLED display options. Others will have models that can hit 500 nits of brightness. There's a lot of configuration options on these, including Intel and AMD choices. We do get these in a lot to review here on the channel, so I'm sure we'll be seeing more of these ThinkPads make its way onto the table here over the summer. These will start at $1399 for the 14-inch version, and that's with an Intel chip. And the AMD 14S starts at around the same price. And again, we'll get these in and get a closer look at them. They also had a refresh of the ThinkPad Extreme that we looked at a few weeks ago. This new one is running with a 12th generation i9 H series processor. This is the 5th generation of that machine, by the way. 4K display at up to 600 nits. You can go up to 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. There are 2 NVMe slots on board. You can put a 3080 Ti inside of it for its GPU. There's other GPU options you can choose from as well. This one is going to start at around $2,049 at the entry level and go up from there. So this is one you could probably get equipped into a $5,000 price range or so if you really deck it out. And last up here, we've got the ThinkPad X13S. This is a Windows ARM-based device. It is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3. Qualcomm says that this chip is 85% faster than the prior generation chip that we saw on a few Windows ARM machines here on the channel a few months ago. I wasn't too impressed with the performance out of that second generation processor, so we'll have to see how this new one does. But this machine looks really nice. It's got a 13.3-inch 16 by 10 display. It can be configured with up to 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. It's got a 1080p webcam, not all that heavy at 2.4 pounds or 1.09 kilograms. It is made completely out of magnesium. There's also a 5G option. It's going to start at around $1,100 or so. Not all that expensive, and if it can get you through 20 hours of work without having to charge, I think there might be some incentive here for corporations to add it to their IT fleet because it will run all the Microsoft stuff just fine. But again, we'll have to get it in and give it a real test to see how it all works. So that's going to do it for this look at what's coming up from Lenovo a little later this year. Leave me a comment down below as to which items you would like to see me review first. We usually get a lot of their products in on loan, and it'd be helpful to kind of get a priority list put together so I can be sure to deliver to you what you're most eager to see. And I'm sure we're going to have many more dispatches coming up in the months ahead. Things are opening back up again. People are traveling. So I will be traveling as well in search of cool tech to bring to you through my dispatches. That is going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Jim Tanis and Tom Albrecht, Hot Sauce and Video Games and Eric's Variety Channel, Brian Parker and Frank Goldman, Amda Brown and Matt Zagaya, and Chris Allegretta. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.